Your 4-year-old wanted the yellow plate. You gave them the yellow plate. Now they're on the floor screaming because the yellow plate has a tiny chip on the edge they never noticed before. You try reasoning. We can use a different plate. More screaming. You try distraction. Look, your favorite show is on. They throw the remote. You try consequences. If you don't stop crying, no dessert tonight. The screaming reaches a pitch that makes your neighbors wonder if you're torturing someone. Every strategy you know has failed, and you're standing in your kitchen wondering how a chipped plate turned into a 40-minute breakdown that's testing every ounce of patience you have left. Dr. Bruce Perry, child psychiatrist and senior fellow at the Child Trauma Academy, explains, when a child is in a state of distress, their brain is in survival mode. Trying to reason with them or control them only activates more fear. What if there's a method that works with your child's nervous system instead of against it? Something Korean families have practiced for generations that can shift this chaos in 60 seconds. Stay with me until the end, because the final step is the one most parents skip, and it's the difference between a child who learns emotional regulation and one who doesn't. Today, we're examining the exact approach that modern neuroscience is finally validating, and it changes everything about how you respond when your child is at their worst. When your child melts down over something seemingly ridiculous, your brain interprets it as a problem requiring immediate solutions. You correct, you redirect, you rationalize. You're being silly, calm down. We don't cry over cups. Every word feels reasonable to your adult brain, but to your child's developing nervous system, your tone, your urgency, your need to make it stop registers as threat. Dr. Daniel Siegel, clinical professor of psychiatry at UCLA School of Medicine and author of extensive research on interpersonal neurobiology, describes what happens when adults respond to children's distress with control or frustration. The child's amygdala, the brain's fear center, activates more strongly. They perceive your attempt to shut down their emotion as danger, triggering a deeper survival response. What could have been 30 seconds of crying becomes 10 minutes of escalating screams because their nervous system is now fighting two threats: the original upset and your reaction to it. If you've responded this way, you're not failing. You're human. This reactive pattern is what most of us learned from our own childhoods. But understanding why it doesn't work opens the door to something that does. Korean culture contains a concept that doesn't translate perfectly into English, but profoundly shapes how parents respond to children's overwhelming emotions. It's called Jong, which encompasses emotional harmony, deep empathy, and shared presence. Jong isn't a technique you apply. It's an orientation toward another person's distress that says, I can handle your big feelings. You don't have to be alone in this. Picture a Korean grandmother sitting beside her grandson who's sobbing over a broken toy. She doesn't speak. She doesn't explain that toys break, or that he has others, or that crying won't fix it. She simply sits beside him, places her hand on his back, and breathes. Within moments, not through words, but through felt presence, his crying shifts. The storm passes. This isn't magic or exceptional parenting skill. It's applied neuroscience that Korean families have practiced intuitively for generations. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and turn on bell notification. This helps spread the knowledge to others. The mechanism involves something developmental psychologists call co-regulation. Dr. Mona Delahooke, pediatric psychologist specializing in early childhood mental health, explains that young children's nervous systems cannot self-regulate independently. They require an external regulated nervous system to borrow calm from. When you stay grounded while your child is dysregulated, your calm literally teaches their body how to return to baseline. Your slow breathing, your relaxed shoulders, your steady presence send physiological signals that their nervous system reads and begins to mirror. This isn't about using words to convince them they're safe. It's about your body communicating safety to their body at a level that bypasses language entirely. When you panic, rush, or try to force them to stop crying, their nervous system reads your dysregulation and panics harder. When you slow down and ground yourself first, they naturally begin slowing down too. Slow presence is actually faster than quick fixes. That counterintuitive truth is the foundation of what some call the Jong Pause, a method that reverses everything most parents instinctively do. The first step feels completely wrong to every parenting instinct you've developed. When you see the meltdown beginning, or when it's already in full force, you stop trying to stop it. You pause. You intentionally lower your entire energy. Instead of matching their intensity or trying to overpower it with your authority, you become the opposite. Grounded, quiet, available. Take a real breath, not a frustrated sigh, but an actual slow inhale and exhale. Drop your shoulders. Crouch or sit down to bring yourself to their eye level. These 3 actions done simultaneously within 10 seconds create a profound shift. Your child's brain, which was primed for conflict, suddenly receives different information. The person in front of me isn't towering, isn't angry, isn't a threat. They're with me. The American Academy of Pediatrics guidelines on effective discipline emphasize that children respond more positively to interventions delivered at eye level with calm body language than to instructions given from above with tension. This isn't about being permissive or giving in. It's about creating the physiological conditions where your child's brain can actually receive help. The second step involves something most parents skip entirely because we've been trained to fill silence with corrections and explanations. You make gentle eye contact without speaking. You're at their level now. Your body is calm. You just let them see your face, see that you're steady, that you're not angry at them, that you're present. This silent connection might last only 3 to 5 seconds, but it's doing profound work. Their nervous system is actively scanning your face and body for cues about their safety. Mirror neurons in their brain are firing, preparing to match what they observe in you. If they see calm, their brain begins preparing for calm. If they see tension masked by forced patience, they'll detect the mismatch and remain dysregulated. Children are remarkably sensitive to emotional authenticity. You can't fake this calm. You have to find it, even briefly, which is why that first breath and shoulder drop matters so much. It's as much for you as for them. The third step adds gentle physical touch if your child accepts it. Still without words, you might lightly hold their hand, rest your palm on their shoulder or back, or simply stay close. Some children immediately lean into physical comfort. Others need time to accept it. Some might reject touch when they're most dysregulated, and that's completely acceptable. You adapt to your specific child while maintaining the core principle of calm, present availability. Touch, when welcomed, sends powerful neurological signals. Research on polyvagal theory by Dr. Porges shows that gentle, safe touch activates the ventral vagal system, the part of the nervous system associated with social engagement and calm. Your steady, warm hand on their back communicates wordlessly what your child's overwhelmed brain needs to hear. This is survivable. You're safe. I'm not leaving. You're not alone. Many tantrums de-escalate substantially during this step. You'll feel the tension leave their small body. Their fists unclench. Their breathing changes. They stop fighting because they feel seen and held, not controlled or abandoned. The fourth step is where you finally introduce words, but not the words most parents use. You don't explain, lecture, or try to teach a lesson. You simply witness and name what they're experiencing. You're really upset right now. You wanted the other cup, and now you have this one. That's frustrating. Keep your tone neutral and descriptive. completely free of judgment, sarcasm, or exasperation. This step is transformative because children don't need to be fixed. They need to be understood. When your child feels genuinely seen and heard, the urgency to keep screaming diminishes. They've accomplished what they were trying to accomplish through the tantrum. They've communicated their distress, and you've received it. Research on emotion coaching by Dr. Gottman shows that children whose emotions are validated rather than dismissed develop better emotional regulation, stronger relationships, and more resilience. Your child might actually cry harder for a moment after you name their feeling. That's release, not escalation. Their nervous system is processing and moving through the emotion rather than staying stuck in it. The fifth and final step invites your child into the next moment without commanding or isolating them. Let's take some deep breaths together. When you're ready, we can figure this out. Notice the language. Together. When you're ready. We. You're not sending them away to calm down alone. You're not telling them to get control of themselves. You're staying present and offering a path forward that doesn't require them to deny what they're feeling. This teaches something crucial that will shape their emotional health for life. When I'm overwhelmed, I'm not alone. I don't have to stay stuck in this feeling. Someone I trust can help me move through it. The entire sequence, lowering your energy and body, silent eye contact, gentle touch, naming the feeling, breathing together, takes approximately 60 seconds. The tantrum hasn't necessarily ended completely, but the intensity has shifted from frantic and escalating to manageable and de-escalating. What happened in those 60 seconds isn't just tantrum management, it's nervous system education. When your child has a meltdown, the emotional centers of their brain, primarily the amygdala and limbic system, hijack the prefrontal cortex where logic and reasoning occur. That's why explanations bounce off them. That's why consequences don't register. But felt safety, communicated through your calm presence and emotional attunement, reaches the emotional brain directly. Once they feel safe, the prefrontal cortex comes back online. Now they can think. Now they can process. Now they're actually available to learn. But the real benefit isn't just ending this tantrum. It's teaching their developing brain a new pattern for handling all future overwhelming emotions. Each time you respond with this method, you're building neural pathways that say emotions are survivable, not dangerous. I can feel intensely and still be okay. The adults in my life can handle my biggest feelings. These patterns compound over time, sometimes in just days. The first time you try this method, your child might scream louder because you're responding differently than they expect. Don't interpret increased intensity as failure. It's confusion meeting new information. By the third or fourth time you practice this approach, the crying will sound different, less frantic, more like genuine release. Within a week of consistent practice, most parents report that tantrums recover twice as fast. Within a month, tantrums become less frequent because your child is learning that big feelings don't require big reactions to be acknowledged. 6 months into practicing this method, the transformation becomes obvious. Your child comes home upset about something at school. Instead of hiding it or raging, they come directly to you, crawl into your lap, and tell you what happened. They do this because you've proven over and over in countless 60-second moments that you can handle their distress without falling apart or pushing them away. Your child's tantrums become shorter and rarer, not because you're controlling them better, but because they're learning emotional regulation from your nervous system. They cry instead of rage. They seek you out when upset instead of pushing you away. They let you help. That's not obedience training, that's secure attachment. That's the foundation of emotional intelligence that will serve them throughout their entire life. You become the calm your child needs, and in the process, they become the emotionally secure person you want them to raise. The blue cup is still the wrong blue. The sandwich is still cut incorrectly. The toy is still broken. But your child learns something infinitely more valuable than getting what they want in every moment. They learn that their biggest, messiest, most overwhelming feelings don't push away the people who love them. They learn they're safe even when they're not okay. They learn you're the steady ground beneath their feet, and that changes absolutely everything about how they'll handle emotions for the rest of their lives. If this changed how you see your child's tantrums, share it with another exhausted parent. And subscribe for more content that helps you understand what your child actually needs when they're at their most difficult.